Hey there, ready to tap into some serious ancient wisdom? Today we're going deep into the psychology of animals. Not just their cute quirks, but what they reveal about us humans, the hidden stuff swirling in our own minds. We're diving into a YouTube video, Reality Decoding, the Psychology of Animals, from the channel GEEZY 333 Sandom Official. Get this, it connects cave paintings to Jungian analysis. Talk about a wild ride.
It's amazing how animals have this hotline to our deepest selves, even way back when the biggest influencer was the person who invented fire.
Totally. Like those cave paintings venturing into the dark just to capture these animal images. It's more than just doodles, right?
Absolutely. It's like they were trying to capture the soul of the animal, that untamed essence, and maybe, without realizing it, their own.
It's giving Adam naming the animals, biblical style, but with more ochre. It's like this urge to understand animals is woven into our DNA.
It goes even deeper than that. The master of animals idea, found in all these different cultures and times, a human figure with their paw on the wild that screams, we need to feel connected, you know?
Right. Control, connection, understanding, it's all intertwined. Those crazy medieval bestiaries too, not just dragons and unicorns, but each creature meant something specific, right?
It's like animal symbolism 101. But it shows how we try to make sense of them, find meaning in their existence, which reflects back on us. Even the word animal comes from the Latin anima, breath or soul.
Hold up, so when we say animal, we're basically saying soul. Mind blown.
And it gets even wilder. The original meaning actually included humans. We haven't always seen ourselves as so separate from the animal kingdom.
Makes you wonder when we built that wall, right?
Yeah.
There's this quote from the video, animals were the first psychoanalysts. That's a bold statement.
It is, but think about it. Our pets totally know when we're faking it. They see right through to our messy emotional selves. Remember that psychologist, James Hillman? He said something like, our pets can spot a soul in need before we even realize it.
Truth. Ever notice how your dog just no WS when you need a good cry on their fur? It's like they have a sixth sense.
And speaking of sensing things beyond the everyday, a lot of cultures believe animals have this direct line to the divine, which is fascinating.
The video dives into that. The inugami of Japan. Like, what if your dog was secretly a god?
Right. Or those Native American traditions where shamans have animal spirits as spirit guides. It's such powerful imagery.
Makes you wonder if our concrete jungles have made us miss the sacred in nature. Even Jung thought animals represent something divine within us.
It's like a part of ourselves we've forgotten. Jung called these universal symbols archetypes, right? And animals are like the ultimate archetypes, recurring players in our dreams and myths.
Okay, break this down for me. Archetypes are like universal symbols.
Exactly. And they often represent primal instincts or energies. So if you dream about a certain animal, it might be tapping into something deeper within you.
So we've got these soul-filled animals, whispering ancient wisdom, reflecting our hidden selves, and acting as spirit guides. Where do we even begin to unpack all that?
Well, why don't we start with everyone's favorite feline enigma, the cat. Talk about a creature that embodies contradictions.
Let's do it. What's the first word that pops into your head when you think cat?
Independence, for sure. Even curled up on your lap, they're their own boss. It's almost like they're reminding us that we don't have to bend over backwards for everyone.
And that whole aloof thing, is that their way of teaching us to set boundaries?
Maybe. It's interesting how that independent spirit shows up in ancient myths, too. Look at Bastet, the Egyptian cat goddess. Protector, nurturing mother, but also fierce, kind of like a cat, right?
Total cat energy, love a good cuddle, but will scratch your eyes out if you mess with their vibe. So they got this duality thing going on.
Exactly. Jung would call this the shadow side. Like, cats can be loving, but also ruthless. It's like looking in a mirror, right? We have those parts too, even if we don't like to admit it.
Okay, getting deep here. So we're all carrying around a little bit of cat energy, those parts of ourselves we might try to hide.
Maybe. The video mentions a guy who felt tormented by his cat Anima at night. Like his unconscious was using the cat to get his attention.
Cat Anima,
Yeah.
as in the feminine aspect of his soul. Okay, things just got very mystical.
Right. It's like the cat was trying to tell him something. But now for the flip side, dogs. They're like the opposite of cats, right? Loyal companions, always down for whatever.
Totally. But you're about to tell me there's a shadow side to dogs too, aren't you?
Of course. They might be man's best friend, but they've also been portrayed as tricksters, leading people astray in myths. Even the most loyal dog can surprise you, right? It highlights that nothing is purely good or bad, not even in ourselves.
Whoa, doggy duality.
Yeah.
That's not an image I usually associate with dogs. Break that down for me.
Well, they represent that loyal best friend, but also the friend who enables your bad habits. It's like that inner voice telling you to order pizza instead of salad. We all have that duality within us.
So how do we tell which voice to listen to? The loyal best friend or the enabler?
That's where things get really interesting. It's about recognizing those different parts of ourselves and learning to choose which ones we want to act on. Dogs can be literal guides, like guide dogs for the visually impaired, right? But they also represent that inner compass, helping us navigate our own darkness, those shadow parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore.
That makes so much sense. They're helping us confront those hidden parts of ourselves, even the scary ones.
Exactly. And they remind us of the power of unconditional love. That story about Hachiko, the dog who waited years for his owner, it gets you every time, right?
Don't even get me started. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Okay, we've tackled cats and dogs. What other animal wisdom are we going to uncover?
It's that loyalty, that pure connection that just gets you right in the feels.
You said it.
Yeah.
But we've got more symbolic terrain to cover. What about horses? They always struck me as these powerful creatures, majestic even, but also kind of skittish. What's the deeper meaning there?
Horses are interesting, definitely. They embody this energy, raw and untamed, like that instinct to just bolt at the drop of a hat, like they're hardwired for freedom, for survival.
Makes sense. In the wild, their first move is always going to be to run.
Exactly. But here's the thing. They can be domesticated, forming bonds with us. They're the ultimate partners when you think about it. Transportation, working the fields, even war, they helped us build civilizations.
Okay, so they're like a mirror or something to our own ability to, harness our wild side.
You got it. It's about learning to take all that raw power, those instincts, and making something constructive, just like when a horse learns to trust a rider.
So not suppressing those instincts, but more like finding that balance, that rider-horse harmony, but inside ourselves.
Exactly. And sometimes that wild horse energy is what saves us. The video mentions this horse that fell down a cliff but stayed calm. It's like pure instinct just took over, guided it to safety.
Wow. It's like that feeling you get when you're driving too fast and something tells you to slow down.
You know it. Sometimes we gotta trust that gut feeling, even when our brains are saying something else. The horse reminds us that there's wisdom in both.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to channel my inner horse right now, but we've got more animal archetypes to uncover. What's up next on our safari?
We can't talk archetypes without the heavy hitters, the OGs, the bull and the cow. These animals, they're like forces of nature that built civilization.
Those are some big symbolic hooves to fill. Let's start with the bull. Raw power, obviously, but what else is there?
The bull is all about masculine energy, strength, virility, even a bit of aggression. It's connected to life and death, too, that whole cycle. Think about those old rituals, sacrifices, intense stuff.
Right. Powerful, sacred, and kind of scary all at the same time.
That's the thing, duality. The bull can create and it can destroy. Kind of reminds me of, us.
That's a lot for one animal. So what about us modern folks? What are we supposed to take away from the bull?
We figured out how to domesticate the bull to use its power, right? We got to do the same with our inner bull. Take all that strength and drive, but use it to benefit everyone, not just ourselves.
Finding that balance between power and action sounds like a lifelong challenge, honestly. Now, on to the cow. She seems a bit more, down to earth.
Totally. The cow's energy is totally different. Nurturing, providing, all about that unconditional love and peace. She's like the ultimate earth mother.
Yeah, I'm picturing mom hugs and fresh-baked cookies right now.
Exactly. Like Hathor, the Egyptian goddess with the cow horns. Motherhood, fertility, abundance, it's all connected.
And in India, cows are sacred. That deep respect for life.
Absolutely. She's a reminder to slow down, enjoy the simple things, and take care of ourselves and each other. We need a bit more cow energy these days.
I hear that. Makes you think twice about those cheeseburgers, though.
Yeah, huh? Maybe we can unpack vegetarianism another time. But for now, we've got one last animal to cover, a big one.
Okay, hit me. What's the grand finale of this animal wisdom adventure? Lay it on me. What's the final word in animal wisdom we're going to uncover today?
Get ready, because we're diving into some seriously deep symbolism with this one, the serpent. And talk about an animal with a serious image problem.
No kidding. Snakes. People either love them or totally freak out. But there's got to be more to the story, right? They can't just be all creepy and crawly.
Oh, there's way more to it. The serpent is like the king of duality, danger, healing, wisdom, all wrapped up in one. It's like they embody those contradictions that we all have inside.
Okay, I think I see what you mean. Like in the Garden of Eden.
Oh.
Right. The serpent's the classic bad guy, tempting Eve with that forbidden fruit.
Exactly. And that image, the serpent, as a symbol of temptation, chaos. I mean, it's everywhere you look. Mythology, art, literature, even our own anxieties, right?
But then you have that whole healing connection, too.
Yeah.
Like with the rod of Asclepius, that doctor symbol with the snake and the staff, right?
Yeah. There it is. That's the paradox. The serpent represents both poison and cure at the same time, destruction and rebirth. It's a powerful reminder that even when things are tough, even dark, there's always that potential for growth and transformation.
So instead of putting a label on it, good or bad, it's more about understanding that it embodies both. Kind of like we were saying with cats and dogs. We've got that duality inside us, too.
You got it. The serpent's a challenge to face those contradictions head on. It's about confronting those parts of ourselves we try to hide, those shadows. Jung talked about shadow grace. And let's be honest, it's not always fun, but we got to do it if we want to grow.
So we're talking about facing our fears, our flaws, those messy bits and pieces that make us human.
That's the path, huh? Like a snake shedding its skin, we've got to let go of those old versions of ourselves to become something new.
Now you're talking. It's about embracing change, even when it's uncomfortable, because that's how we grow. And the serpent reminds us that transformation, it's a part of life. Sometimes facing those fears is the only way to unlock our true potential. This has been, wow, seriously thought-provoking. From dogs to lions, nurturing cows, and even those kind of scary but wise serpents. What's the big takeaway? What are we supposed to do with all this animal wisdom?
Pay attention. That's all it takes. Pay attention to those animals you're drawn to, the ones that make you feel something. Even the ones that show up in your dreams, they're all trying to tell us something.
So it's not just about being a dog person or a cat person. It's more like asking ourselves, what is it about this animal that speaks to me right now? Like they're guides on our own personal journeys.
Exactly. Think of them as mirrors to our souls, showing us things about ourselves that maybe we don't even realize. If we can just pay attention to how we react to them, well, we can learn a lot about what we need, what we're afraid of, all of it.
This has been amazing. Honestly, I don't think I can look at a pigeon the same way again.
That's what it's all about. Once you see the world through this lens of symbolism, it opens up all these layers of meaning. It's like those animals are whispering secrets, ancient wisdom, if we just know how to listen.
I love that. Whispers of wisdom from the animal kingdom. On that note, I want to thank you for joining me on this incredible deep dive. This has been really eye-opening.
The pleasure was mine, really.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the psychology of animals. We hope you've learned something about the animal kingdom and yourselves along the way. Until next time, keep exploring, keep those questions coming, and keep listening to those animal whispers.